Kristi dashed forward. She stepped in front of her husband Mark, his arm cocked back, shoe in hand, ready to smash the tiny spider on the wall.
"It's just a little spider, honey. It's not hurting anyone,"
she said as she carefully scooped the spider into her palm. Mark grimaced.
"Maybe if you kept the house clean, we wouldn't have bugs."
As usual, Kristi brushed the comment off and brought the spider to the back door. She gently placed it on the ground just outside the door and stepped back inside. It felt good to protect something small and helpless. As she turned to close the door, she glanced down at the spider, still sitting on the ground, looking up at her. She paused. She could have sworn the spider raised one leg in a wave before disappearing into the grass. That night, she woke to the faintest skittering noise. At first, she thought it was a dream. But in the morning, nestled on her pillow beside her head, was a single dead fly. She frowned, brushing it into the trash before Mark noticed. He was already grumbling about the dust on the baseboards. The next morning, there were 3 flies laid out in a row on her pillow, as if intentionally presented to her. She saw a flicker of movement near the top of the curtain rod, a familiar spider skittering into the shadows. Over the next few days, she caught little glimpses of the spider. Each time it appeared to be larger and larger, and each night more flies. Eventually Mark noticed.
"You keep leaving the door open, and now the house is infested."
Kristi apologized like she always did, but she started checking the walls, the ceiling corners, the lampshades, and she started whispering, before bed, asking the spider to stay safe and stop leaving her gifts. But the gifts continued. The next morning, Kristi found a small, neat pile of shiny beetle shells, then several cockroaches, a mouse, a small ring, her ring in fact, that had fallen down the sink months ago. And with each night, the skittering grew louder, slower, heavier. The spider was growing. And each day, Mark grew angrier and angrier, his threats more specific, more violent. One night, Mark burst into the bedroom, wild-eyed, holding the latest gift, a handful of dead fish from his precious koi pond in the backyard. He shouted at her, throwing them in her face. Kristi sat up in bed. Her voice trembled.
"It wasn't me?"
"How dare you lie to me?"
Mark bellowed. A loud crack as his palm cracked across her face. Kristi cowered against the headboard. She looked up, tears in her eyes, and gasped. Behind Mark, a vent cover fell from the ceiling as a dark shape slowly emerged. 2 legs, then 4, then 8. The spider was the size of a small dog now, black, glossy, deliberate. It skittered across the ceiling, coming to a stop directly above Mark, before slowly lowering on a thick thread of silk. Mark raised his hand again for a second blow, his fingers brushing the spider's legs. Mark froze. He turned, just in time to see the mandibles twitch. Then the spider dropped, its fangs sinking into Mark's neck with a hiss. Mark shrieked, flailed, thrashed, and then the room went still. Kristi watched in silence as the spider spun the twitching body into a silken cocoon, dragging him out the bedroom door, a mixture of blood and venom trailing behind. The room was quiet. After a moment, Kristi laid her head back on the pillow. She smiled. She didn't feel small and helpless. She felt protected, and it felt nice.